Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, you see right here, World Champion Seth Rollins still holds the gold of the World Heavyweight Champion, but he just picked up from his wife, Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. What's going on? We'll get to the situation at hand. Coming up here on the Clash in Paris review. Let's start review right now from the Pro Wrestling Show, right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Present the Clash and Pairs Review. I'm your host, as always, KG here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation. You can hashtag Pro Wrestling. Don't forget, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to your friends. Tell a friend. All friends. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here for the Clash and Pairs Review. Whether it be there for we'll get to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch a little bit later on in the show. But let's get started right here, right now, with this. Roman Reigns, the original tribal chief. We can show a picture of him right here. Roman Reigns kick off the show. Roman Reigns was in action. And Roman Reigns took on the tribal thief, Bronson Reed. These two men don't like each other after what Roman wanted to get his hands on Bronson last week to get for stealing his shoes. This was Roman's opportunity to do so, and Roman wanted the chance to do so tonight. And Roman Reigns did, and he did tonight. He went against the tribal thief. Roman was wearing two special Ula followers, a red and black one, formed from his uncle and his dad. Roman paid homage and paid tribute to both his uncle and dad tonight. Well, Roman Reigns emerged victorious tonight, and Roman Reigns did so by doing what he did best, by standing there, standing confident over Bronson Reed. Bronson did put up a fair showing tonight. It just wasn't enough for Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns even got his shoes back and even choked out Paul Heyman in the process after their partnership literally almost a half a decade ago, 5 years ago, 2020. Can you believe it's that been that long? 2025 years ago. Roman Reigns did so, choking out Paul Heyman, but there were some consequences to that action. Roman was trying to until Braun Breaker came out of nowhere. Roman did stood up top of the announcer table. Braun Breaker came out of nowhere and attacked Roman and speared him to the table like it was a video game for one of the WWE 2K games. And Roman Reigns being decimated by both members of Paul Heyman's group. Roman Reigns getting attacked by Bronson Reed with numerous spears as Bronson Reed hit numerous tsunami splashes. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed doing damage to Roman Reigns, thus running him away from the storyline. Roman being carried out on a stretcher. That still wasn't enough, and they still did more damage and worse than where. I think Roman Reigns is going to be out for quite some time as he did tonight. So Roman Reigns being attacked by both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And Jey Uso tried to come out there to help his cousin. It just wasn't enough. And Roman did what he did and paid what he had to pay, paid the price. Roman Reigns gonna have to really feel the effects of that, feel the pain from Bronson and Braun on what they did. But it was really devastating. Now we don't know when Roman Reigns will be coming back, but hopefully we'll see down the road Roman Reigns does come back, what his mental state would mind be getting payback from both Bronson and Braun after what they had done tonight, leaving Roman Reigns a winner. But he kind of lost at the end by getting attacked by both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker tonight, as we saw. Well, speaking of those actions, General Manager Adam Pierce made these two, Braun and Bronson, leave the building and told them they came back to interfere in that world title match for their leader self, that they were going to be indefinitely suspended without pay. So they took heed and took mine, and they took Paul Heyman along with them because Paul Heyman did receive that beating, a well of a beating. They both left with the tail behind their back of their legs. So we saw that tonight as well. Well, speaking of that, it was an impromptu tag team championship match. We saw that the Wide Six defended the tag team goal against the Street Profits. The Street Profits really tried to be a match, but it just wasn't enough. The Street Profits couldn't win tonight. There's a lot of teases tonight. We even saw this tease right here in the beginning when Angelo put his hand over um what's it Montez's chest. That's telling me right there there's a tease coming. The tease is on its way. You can tell right here that tease is coming sooner rather than later. And you can tell we could see the breakup of the Street Profits down the road. And unfortunately, they couldn't win the tag team championships tonight. They were kind of like off guard, off communications tonight, leading the Wyatt Six to take advantage with Uncle Howdy, taking advantage with Sister Abigail on Montez. Montez did not recover and leaving the Profits losing tonight over the Wyatt Six, who still hold the tag team gold. Well, the Women's Intercontinental Championship was on the line as you had Becky Lynch defending her women's title, her Intercontinental title, against Nikki Bella. It was a subpar match, but Nikki Bella was doing a botch move in the beginning. Nikki Bella did not capitalize the way she should have capitalized on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch took advantage of Nikki Bella with a backslide in the 1, 2, 3, and still retained her Women's Intercontinental Championship. Well, you thought you saw the last of Becky. You're gonna see the last. You didn't see the last of Becky, and we'll tell you a little bit later what Becky Lynch did to have the aftermath, the impact in that World Championship match at the end. So we'll tell you that coming up a little bit later on in the show. But Becky Lynch still holds the Women's Intercontinental Championship in her possession, as she did tonight. Well, General Manager Adam Pierce was trying to check on Jey to see if Jey was okay and Jey was still prime and ready after suffering that attack earlier from Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to help defend his cousin Roman. Well, Jey said that he's okay, he's ready, he's prime, he's able. It just wasn't enough, but we know that Jey saying he's going to be okay. He still want to compete in that championship match. And this general manager assured him, like, hey, you're still in the match, but we're just trying to check and see if everything was okay. And he did. Good for Adam Pierce on that situation and stuff. Well, we get to another match that everybody been talking about and buzzing about right here. This Donnybrook match, good old fashioned Donnybrook match between Sheamus versus Rusev. Sheamus versus Rusev, one on one, a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. And what a match it was throughout the whole entire match. It was nonstop, just chaos, confusion, you name it. But Roman Reigns, not Roman Reigns, but Rusev won the match. Rusev applying that Rusev lock on Sheamus, even using Sheamus shillelagh to tap, make Rusev tap, make Sheamus tap, and Sheamus did make Rusev tap. It just wasn't enough for Rusev. Rusev paid 10 folds tonight. Sheamus paid 10 folds tonight, getting that move and the maneuver that he did tonight on Rusev to set up whatever they got, but making Rusev look good, trying to set the stage for Rusev to go against another challenger down the road. We don't know who. Um, we'll see. Rusev still holds the go. Still, Rusev still beating, defeating Sheamus. It's kind of like on taking a wheel of a beating, if you can ask me. Stuff like that. We saw that tonight. We saw tonight that Sheamus lost to Rusev in the good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Well, go to another match right here. John Cena taking on Logan Paul. One on one. John Cena even praising Logan Paul this past week on Raw, saying that Logan could be the future of WWE if he does everything the right way. We saw tonight Logan Paul's best match tonight, and Logan Paul had really a decent match tonight. Logan Paul using different maneuvers, using the inner days that Baron Corbin used to do tonight. But Logan Paul doing maneuvers, doing gut wrench suplexes and stuff. So Logan Paul has been doing his reps and doing the training and stuff like that. Logan Paul getting himself together. And I can tell you that about Logan Paul. Logan Paul knows a thing or two, but he's redeeming himself. He's becoming a great wrestler. He could be, along with Braun, one of the two men, I believe, who was born in the 1990s to be world champion down the road. So we haven't have a WWE champion that was born in the 1990s, but that could all change down the road. So we could see that coming your way sooner rather than later. So hey, we'll get that covered for stuff. So hey, we'll see. All right, you saw that John Cena retained and won the match. John Cena did so. And John Cena brought a special guest. John Cena brought the kid that he disrespected back, and the kid he disrespected loved it, and he was so happy that John Cena won. His favorite, his hero won, and a fairy tale ending store for John Cena. Got at least 6 more matches to go, and John Cena getting a kiss from his wife. So John Cena doing the most, doing it all. Even to the point, just the statistics right here. John Cena close to near to the Undertaker's um, in PLEs, most wins in PLEs. Undertaker on 107, John Cena with 98. Uh, he could tie the Undertaker by the end of his tour. John Triple H with 92, Randy Orton with 81. So John Cena making believable out of everybody, even unbeliever with his own wife right here and his kid winning. This kid, his fan, his friend's fan, was John Cena winning, redeeming his story tonight. So we saw that tonight as well. Well, we get to the main event. The main event of the evening. The main event of the evening was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins defends against LA Knight, CM Punk, and Jey Uso. Know that LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso, both men, all 4 men vying for the gold. And vying for the gold indeed. We saw like this past week on Raw, Jey Uso having lack of miscommunication, super kicking both LA Knight, CM Punk, getting this whole situation, this whole destiny thing going. Well, we saw tonight a little bit of the same, but not the same. Jey Uso came out there with a tape wrap brace on him. Jay making it seem like he got to do what he has to do. And Jey Uso preparing himself indeed with the crowd and stuff. And the world championship was online. As you see, these 4 men vying for a shot, an opportunity. Who's gonna leave with the world title? And I told you on predict the outcome. It wasn't no secret. It wasn't no secret about that. That we heard rumors and reports that um it's going to be something starting up WrestlePalooza for a beginning. Well, we saw this. CM Punk was closing in on on Seth Rollins until Jey Uso, Seth Rollins' wife, the women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch came out there and Becky Lynch screwed, and she literally screwed CM Punk for the world title again. Just and you see right here, this is a moment right here. Again, we seen this 6 years ago. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch were champions. Now they're champions again. Becky, the women's Intercontinental Champion. And now we see Seth getting himself involved with his wife again. His wife costing CM Punk a chance to be world champion. CM Punk a little bit like he was down, defeated again. He couldn't even get a chance. LA Knight was saying that earlier that he's more hungry out of all of them to be world champion because he hasn't got to the promised land of being world champion. Well, unfortunately, it's going to lead to another one. And you can tell right there, Seth Rollins getting the help from his wife. He didn't have his stablemates. He had only his wife that was still around, and his wife played dividends tonight as she normally did tonight. And look at that, being that way in the situation it went to that Becky Lynch retained her Intercontinental title, and now she's helping her husband retain his title in some grand fashion, and it did so tonight. It did. Tell right here. You can tell right here on what went down. You can tell that Seth Rollins is getting the help from his wife, and his wife paying dividends and what she did tonight. And we'll see. She's gonna have some explaining to do. Even CM Punk was a little bit shocked and stern that what happened, and we're gonna kind of see tomorrow night on Raw what this is mean for CM Punk going forward with Becky CM Punk being screwed by Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch. So it's no telling to that situation. All right, that's going to end the Clash in Paris review. And we want to thank you all once again for watching Clash in Paris all throughout this week. The Raw Ring Report, the SmackDown Ring Report, the NXT, AEW, the specials, even to the review. We want to thank you again. And you can look back on all these episodes and you can all watch and binge watch. And we thank you. We thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. Without y'all, we wouldn't be what we are today. And we thank you once again for watching. All right, let's go to the heat check. On the heat check, we're still talking about the situation that we didn't even bring up. But, a lot of people have been talked about for quite some time. The situation that Mark Henry right here brought up about the Psycho Stew and Raja Jackson situation. That is really a sensitive situation. Like we said, Raja Jackson should not went there. We know that Psycho Stew had hit him with a can earlier before the event, and we know Raja was mad. We didn't know that he turned his aggression, turned out on Psycho Stu like he did, punch him right here aggressively. It was uncalled for. We hope that Raja gets some therapy. And Psycho Stu, we're hearing that he had got an outpouring of support. Psycho Stu, family of Psycho Stu saying that he's feeling much better because it could have been worse than what it could have been like. And unfortunately, we kind of glad. Fortunately, it didn't go to that level. Raja, um, he should have just you held his temper because the man said he was sorry. He should have just left it alone. But we know that some people, know how they are when they're holding up their aggression. At the beginning, Psycho Stu was wrong for hitting him in the head, but he apologized, and that should have been it. But unfortunately, he took it to another level. Raja should just accept the apology and move forward and say, okay, I'm not gonna deal with him. All these wrestlers do things, but it kind of caused the promotion, Knox Pro, Rikishi's promotion, to be terminated from the WWE ID program. They no longer WWE does not want to be affiliated with the ID program at all. And now that leaves that void. But the controversy now, seeing that what is Psycho Stu going to do? Is he going to do some legal action and perhaps sue Rikishi, Rikishi's company, probably may sue WWE for their involvement in it. So it's a lot of stuff going on. We're keeping a close eye on this as we can. But Mark Henry, he said something. We thinking that Mark Henry probably didn't watch it, all of it, and he got one side of which he believes that he might be entitled to. But like we said, we'll have to wait and see. But Mark Henry kind of like didn't rush to judgment. Should have had really had eyes in the fire in that. But like we said, we'll see on how that's going to go. But we didn't touch on it on this week episode. Well, we're touching on this week and this week only because we didn't want to touch on throughout the whole week. We didn't want to overshadow the news and overshadow the ring reports on what went down. So we talked about it right now, right here and right now, only on here on the review because it was appropriate for us because we had to review just to see what was going on before we had put our opinions and news and judgment on it. So now we kind of know what the outcome is right now. So thank you for your patience on that. Also, too, right here, Sheamus coming up that Donnybrook match. Sheamus took a whale of a beating from Rusev. Rusev beating up Sheamus and leaving Sheamus for the kilt right here, attacking Sheamus down the road. And you can tell right here, Rusev doing a lot of whips on Sheamus. Sheamus feeling the whips as he did. He did tonight. Well, we see right here Logan Paul um with the cell phones and stuff. So a lot of cell phones and stuff going forward and stuff like that. So you see that going forward, stuff like that. All right. We're gonna leave you here on the Pro Wrestling Show with Seth freaking Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch. Miss Becky helping Seth retain the world championship. I've been your host, KJ Diggs, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the Raw Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.